Oh, boom, boom. Man, we are market vitals and levels you need to know to triage the market. Everything's discombobulated, man. We got a reboot. We had this, we had that. Monday problems. Good morning, Miss Trade, Matt Davio.
Morning, Bob.
HFR, Bobby Heff, Robert Heffernan, Robert Doherty Heffernan. Matt, I don't know if you know that about me. My middle name is Doherty.
RDH.
RDH, Robert Doherty, named after the priest that baptized me, Matt, and then he left.
And then sodomized you?
He left the priesthood and married a nun. No.
And he sodomized her.
I don't know why you got to go right there on a Monday.
That's the kind of.
Man, breaking news. We got breaking news. Hey, by the way, marketvitals.io is our community where if you are any type of trader along the path, whether you're a beginner, a novice, or still battling, waging, it's important to have a community around you that will talk about risk and reward. We say it all the time, Matt, don't piss down my back and tell me it's raining. And it's incredibly important to have a voice like that in your arsenal, somebody that will talk straight about risk and reward. Speaking of risk, hold on. We got a disclaimer. Everything that we talk about is guaranteed, probably. Guaranteed, probably. The risk is your own. Be careful or you'll live in a van down by the river. I was in the van Friday night up at Mount Bachelor, Matt. Not great conditions. Global warming has not set in the Pacific Northwest. I'll tell you that right now.
No, that's because it's just global cycles.
Global psychos is more like it. Matt, we've had a thread here, and I will keep going to this. All right, I will keep.
Hey, Bob, new lows on the bonds. Just thought I'd point it out.
Breaking news?
Breaking news. New lows on the bonds.
Breaking news. At some point, this matters. Matt, this was the breaking news that we keep referring back to. The absolute top of the World Economic Forum and their influence, in my opinion. This was from earlier this year. The good news is that elites across the world trust each other more and more. The bad news is the vast majority of everybody else think the elites can go fuck themselves. Anyway, Matt, this playing out as we saw, Elon was supposed to be on the board of Twitter today or on Friday, right? And Parag, the CEO of Twitter, Elon has decided not to join our board. I sent a brief note to the company sharing with you all here. Matt, he had welcomed Elon with open arms. Come on to the board. I can't wait for this incredibly smart
Because we love
guy.
all people. Because we love all people at Twitter. We love all people.
It was awesome. The pomp and circumstance and open arms that they were throwing Elon's way. As far as I'm concerned, Matt, Elon must have then read the fine print, and when he understood that he could only own 14%, making it a much harder takeover target. He said, "You know what? Thanks for the board offer, but I'll." And the reason why I think this, Matt, is because then he started not playing so nice as he tweeted this. Breaking news: Elon to convert San Francisco Twitter headquarters to homeless shelter. He tweeted this out, and then I think he went on to say in another tweet that, well, they're all such good-hearted citizens, they'll be close enough to volunteer their time when the homeless are right there in their headquarters.
Right.
What did you think about it all?
Noise.
All right, let's bring up the Twitter stock because we at least got to talk about that.
Yeah, I got pinged by a couple retail people saying, buy puts now. And I'm like, okay, whatever we're going to open it will be higher than that. And sure enough, retail nails it. Whenever it's like the greatest thing when retail tells me what to do, the trader. And today's a perfect example because Twitter is green for the day. And just the, headlines alone are enough to trade on sometimes. And there's your buy. I mean, pre-market, yeah, we dipped down to 44.50, but big deal. The gap is not filled, by the way, which is down here at 41. And yeah, we peaked the day after, again, the Elon news, just like we did in the Tesla stock. So let's talk. I'd rather talk Tesla because that's more. This
Not only
is
is it more, it's more of what you're trading than the Twitter.
yeah. Well, Twitter, it's like, okay, it's in play again now. It's finally in play. You got a little bump, but more importantly, we talked about Tesla and the split news we said was a sale, and then once the news that that already came in, and then you had another chance to sell again when Elon said he was going to buy 9.2% of the stock, and sure enough, Tesla now is down from 11.53 down to, it traded as low as 9.76 this morning, early. And this isn't pretty, Bob. Now we got gaps to fill to the upside. We filled the gaps to the downside after the runaway. So now you got a gap up here to 1020 that you probably could sell again if it rallies again. So
man, almost what they call an island top there, as you've gapped up and then
yeah,
lower.
I mean, it's the same.
It's an ugly chart.
It's the same thing every time. And now, the trend line traders are battling this 975 level, which doesn't mean anything. So have a little, discussion, as you like to say, but we're gonna trade back into this meat, low 900s. I said it Friday. I'll say it again today. We're going to trade to 900, if not 850 again, because why did we go up 400 points?
Well, why did we go up 18%?
No,
Matt, it's seasons, Matt. Every season, turn. We got baseball season. We got earnings season this kicking off this week.
We do.
And the structure from my standard deviation analysis is not looking great in the S&P in particular.
Well, this week we basically have the banks. We have Goldman, we have Morgan, and we have JP Morgan all reporting. Goldman and Citigroup are Holy Thursday
reporting.
And I think Wednesday is JP Morgan. So these, and I don't think there's going to be pretty numbers. There's no deal flow happening. So the deal flow that they were banking on is going to be down. Trading profits might be up, but it's not going to take care of the deal flow. There's more, I think the trading profits right now for banks is still flipping around. They don't really know which way they're going. But listen, JP Morgan's Wednesday. You got that. You got the holiday. We have a shortened week again. Be careful out there. This is always a tough week again. And next week's kind of a half week too, because in Europe, Monday markets are closed too next week. Even though we're open on Mondays, Holy Monday here, they're not. So a lot of news, a lot of geopolitical, a lot of religious strife going on all over the world. It'll be an interesting week to watch. I'm not that interested in the earnings. I think it will be a volatile earnings season, though. I really do.
Well, I mean, there's so many moving parts here now. We were talking about wage and labor problems well before the meat of the inflation kicked in.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stressors all around for that balance sheet and bottom line that will be disclosed as you need to disclose. Something that Twitter seems to feel that they don't need to care about is profitability.
Well, I continue to talk about this bludgeoning and the bonds, and
bring it up because
who's selling? Is everybody selling, Bob? I mean, is China, Russia? They've all been selling. Is our own FOMC selling?
I got to tell you, Matt.
I mean, somebody's just like, get this off the books right now.
Right. I tried reading a long thread on exactly what the reverse reach around was, how all the balance sheets work, and I was more confused when I got done reading it than I was when I came in.
I mean, they're still buying assets, but they shouldn't be. I mean, they got to be feeling the pain a little bit because this, think about this 191 spike on COVID, and now we have taken out. So we're through the bottom, right? We're through. Remember, this is pre-COVID, right here. January of 20 before we spiked. So we're below all this now,
and well below it.
And we're going to 136. I mean, I've been saying it. Like 143 was the first level, and then below that's 136. I mean, this is the low. We're going to go test this. This recent low is just what was it, 137, Bob? And again, I'm just looking at, this is now a long-term weekly chart, but it's broken. Like trend line's broken. Now the in the week yesterday or last week, we broke below it. So we closed below that trend line. We're right at the point of control on the weekly. Major point of contention. All these people are trapped to the long side, and that's a lot of time. I mean, that's again 4 years of people that are trapped. That's why we're puking. That is why we're puking, and this is what people don't understand. Whether the Fed has any intention to raise rates or not doesn't matter. The bonds and the interest rates are going higher. The bonds are going lower. The interest rates are going higher. To me, I mean, why wouldn't we trade down to 123?
Bingo, bingo.
Why wouldn't we?
Bingo, bingo. What goes up must come down, Matt.
That's right. Yeah, it's not pretty. Now we're due for a bounce. Don't get me wrong here. We're way over.
Yeah, and especially if we tie in and build.
I mean, think about this: 160, March 6th. Today is April 11th, Bob, and we're at 141.27 was the low now in a month. I mean,
again, 20 handles in a month,
and we just took out 4 years of longs. That is significant news. I continue to say it. And
all right, Matt.
All you realtors and mortgage folks who think this is normal,
better get that bartending job.
I mean, it's going to slow down. It's a slow. You talk about slow moving evergreen. Speaking of evergreen, did you see the ship off the Chesapeake that they're unloading now? That has been stuck there for 2 to 4 weeks. It's stuck in the mud. Now they're coming in with cranes and trying to unload it, and they're like, it's a tricky thing.
How is this not mainstream media?
I saw it yesterday. They just talked about it. So there's another evergreen out in the Chesapeake Bay that is full, and they're trying to unload it because it's stuck in the mud. It's a powerful. It's crazy. And then you look at the shipping problems that are all the boats that are. I sent it to you this morning in the network. Look at the boats that are stuck off of Shanghai right now because of the lockdowns. This stuff is going to continue to affect, Bob. Going to continue to affect our inflation. Right now we have a country, and I'd say the North America, along with the European Union, is probably 70%. They say our economy is 70% service. China and Russia are about the opposite. They're 80-20. No service, all manufacturing, all production. At some point, Bob, this financial war is going to flip us over and bend us over, and it sure feels like it's starting right now. It started a while ago.
What you haven't seen in the news, I just wanted to touch on this because it's giant news.
Yeah.
The enormous gap between media coverage devoted to the FBI's pre-election announcement that it broke up a right-wing plot to kidnap your Michigan Governor Whitmer, and then the jury's refusal to convict the key defendants following evidence that the plot was actually driven by and large by the FBI, not only in plotting it, but the number of participants that were FBI working for the FBI. It was like 13 or 15 of the 21 that were supposedly putting this together were actually FBI agents.
Yeah, again, nothing will happen.
Unreal, though. It's unreal that we talk about trust all the time. Here's one thing that's at least refreshing, that we still have a jury system of your peers, and they get to say, hey, you know what? You guys entrapped these people. They never would have done this all on their own.
Right.
They never would have hatched this plan.
Well, also this week, one of the January 6th, people was let go because in the same court case, the jury said, well, you let them in. You open the door. Your policeman will open the door. We have hundreds of videos that are now, people, we saw these videos back 2.5 years ago at, January of 20. Now everybody's like, whoa. And I'm like, we saw them then. It was all suppressed. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. I mean, it's just, I'm beyond over it because.
Well, exactly. And we've been saying that for a while.
Yeah.
Baseball season kicked off, Matt. The boys of summer are here.
My Tigers whipping up on your White Sox Friday night with the bottom, with the ground rule double walk off, but then they got smoked in the last 2 games. They're back to the Tigers.
Tigers are 1-2 now.
1-2. White Sox are 2-1.
And you'll just rinse repeat that for the rest of the season.
Pretty much. I think you can probably expect another 60-100 season.
You're over under right now. Tigers is 60 wins.
Sure. Yeah.
Right on.
That gets you to your 1-2 every series. So that's about
right.
Matt,
how about the Masters? I didn't watch a lot of it.
It was pretty boring. When we went off on Friday, when we left closed the show, I asked you to give me your three guys. And you said Tiger, Morikawa, and Willett, because he was leading at the time. No, he was number 5, but then he did go on to be leading right after you said that. I was like, wow, good call, Bob. But, then reality set in, and I said Morikawa, Zalatoris, and Scheffler. I had 1, 4, and 5. What can I tell you? And once again,
you're betting the top 10 worked out again.
And once again, that's 8 in a row majors. Plus, I did the TPC this year, picking the top 10. Just bet the top 10, and you're gonna double on the top 4, single on the last 6, and you'll win on these majors.
Yeah, he just never failed. You want to see the Masters. It gets interesting when somebody starts, chili dipping.
The end, Bob, was kind of interesting. It was like I said, okay. So the best part of the show was number 18 yesterday. Rory, by the way, did you see that?
I did, and I turned it on and watched that live, and that was awesome.
Him chipping in for the birdie, the crowd going bananas, the crowd still like murmuring. It's just like, "Arr!" And they don't even show live.
Right, the other chipping. In fact, they were showing Rory, and all of a sudden Rory goes like this.
The crowd. Then you see Rory, and you're like, "What? Wait, was that a Matrix glitch?" Because that's what it felt like watching it. I'm like, "What's going on?" And then Morikawa nails his and puts his in for the birdie. Wow. Rory had a 64 yesterday and was actually somewhat in contention. And if Scheffler hadn't made a couple of those big putts early in the round, I'll tell you, he had the choking capacity on that, because he double bogeyed. He 4-putted from this far. That green.
Somebody shared the Happy Gilmore scene of Scheffler trying to close it out.
Yeah. But I honestly, I must say it really did bring a tear to my eye watching him with his wife, his new wife. They've been married a year and change. His mom, his dad, his brother, his 2 sisters, his brother, I was like,
it's a family affair.
But didn't it touch your heart? I got to say, like, as far as like versus like LeBron.
All right, man, as all assets are one.
Speaking of mushrooms and LeBron, the rumor over the weekend, by the way, Bob, the rumor over the weekend was Juwan going to the Lakers.
To coach. LeBron brings in and what is he? He's just a player coach then at some point.
He's not a player. He's not a player at all. But
I'm saying LeBron. LeBron's a player coach.
I don't know. I don't know if he has any ownership in the Lakers, but I could see he's the prima donna that he is. Why wouldn't you bring in a guy that you played with and coached? Because he was a player coach at Miami there when LeBron was there too. Out of these guys, you're going to pick a Dookie. You're going to pick up a Vogel. He's on his way out. So who are you going to get? The Brooklyn coach, the Jazz coach, the Mormon, or LeBron's boy? I'd say if these are your 3 guys, go with Juwan, which is bad.
And Juwan's going to love it because you get to slap anybody you want, and nobody's going to say anything.
You can slap the.
Let me share. I want to talk a little bit about Ether, because this is the daily in Ether standard deviation modeling, the Market Vitals envelope, we call it the envelope, and it does not look healthy. I know all assets are one. We've talked about that, but this in particular, this descending or the bands are falling away now, so you can keep chasing lower prices. I talked to you before about the struggles with Ether and the NFTs and the inability for the network to hold the, the whole thing was that it was supposed to make transactions seamless, easy, nearly free, decentralized. Nobody can control it. But the fact of the matter is that is what was sold, and that is not what is being delivered. So on top of the fact that everything is correlated and it sure looks like we're rolling over here, it continues to struggle with those things.
Once again, retail was heavy in my ear 2 weeks ago when everything was up 18% in the stock market and the bit market, the alt turd market. And if you'll let me share, I will.
Take it away.
And I mean, it's you feel like a broken record, but it is what it is. And Ether had a nice rally and was actually hanging up a little bit longer than Bitcoin. And I was asking you, like, because I was short in there. I'm like, hey, Bob, explain to me fundamentally, like, give me your 2 cents again. And you gave it to me. I went, perfect, sold again. Like your little sales pitch. I was like,
but I told you that, our friend Longplex called them stickers today. The old NFT market
right.
is stickers.
Right.
Everybody's trading stickers.
But here's the interesting thing. The all-time high here at 4,900, whatever it was, and then we sold off down here in January. Guess what? We just got a rally back to the 50% retrace. And we were talking about this. Just know what these levels are, because you're in a bear market. They can go to these levels. They can have huge rallies. 2,100 up to 35. It's huge. I mean, that's 60, 70%. If you're not taking profits on that and you bought anytime in here, you're a fool, because it's going to come back down. It's just a dead cat bounce. And these things are so wide and so stretched as it is. They're not going to come down all at once, but they're coming down. And they're pet rocks. They continue to be pet rocks. Whatever fundamental story you want to sell me, I'm selling. I'm selling it all day. So, I mean, nothing has changed here. This thing, again, banged right off the 3,500, went a little higher, again, sucked some people in that play by the exact numbers. You can't play by the exact numbers. And it's rolling back over. I mean, 3,600 down to 3,000, Bob. What is that? It's 15, 18% already.
And then what, you look at the rest of that profile. Why wouldn't it just do what it's done now several times here and expose the whole rest of that profile down to 2,400?
Well, it was at
another 20% off.
Yeah. So it will happen. And again, pet rocks, Bitcoin, same thing. It's, holding on to 40 again, but it's an ugly chart. I mean, he went from 49 down to 40 again here. Hodl, y'all. That's the way to do it, I guess. Again, if you can only be long, why trade something? Like, I don't get it. Like, if and a lot of these people, a lot of the retail can only be long. Am I correct on most of these Bitcoin?
Well, yeah, it depends on, for sure, here in the States. Yeah. They don't like you being, some of the platforms allow you to short. And we've said all along, the best way to play it is to trade the futures at the Merc, because Ether and Bitcoin are the two biggest ones in the market. Yeah, sure, you might not get that flyer that some of these real meme coins get, but how much are you really going to throw at it? I mean, are you going to throw thousands and thousands of dollars at something?
So now we're in a six month ban. Yeah. And again, I agree. Futures are the way to do it. You can't trade on weekends, but I think kind of that weekend shit is kind of falling apart anyways. Nothing really happens too much over the weekends anymore. That used to be fun when there was, something else. There was crazy money flowing through all markets, but yeah, this doesn't look good. You basically are in a 6 month band right now, outside of the little spike higher. And really it looks like a right shoulder to me. And next time it falls through 30,000, it'll go to 20 or 10. And that's still been the number long-term that I'm saying we're going to see. We got to shake people out. You got to see how real the hodl is. And they got to suck them in too. That's why we just rallied from 30 to 50,000. And that's just what it does. And you can see this big picture is still, looks to me kind of right-sided and looks like it's got a lot of room. We just, again, we just had entered on the daily chart, the value zone. And to me, it looks like, we had a little throw over there.
I mean, we talk about market structure all the time. That lower end there between 20, I mean, is so thin.
Well, this is thin, and this is your biggest price still down here at 12,000. So
Right.
why wouldn't we go there? Why, that was back in, again, that was just July of 20, post-COVID. So what, everything else is going back to post-COVID or lower levels. Why wouldn't Bitcoin? Why wouldn't it, Bob?
Why wouldn't it? Let the elites eat themselves a little bit more in that arena.
Oh my gosh, I was watching the latest episode of Billions last night. It's really gotten bad. The writing's really bad. Just the dramatization of a large hedge fund manager fighting against the liberal AG of New York. The story's gotten like just kind of ridiculous with Mike Prince now, and they're taking over for Axel. It's not good anymore. It's really bad. And I was like just watching this whole battle yesterday in episode 12, and I was just like, this is
not buying it.
Not buying it.
Not buying it. Yours.
Not buying it.
Yours. All right, Matt, that's what we got. Please join us at marketvitals.io and please share and retweet and plagiarize the broadcast far and wide. If Lee, if you don't have anything, I think that's it. I
got one other thing. Kim Young blew up a golf course because he doesn't like golf, I guess now. And
what?
Yeah, they've been blowing up a golf course. That's some of the latest news. Again, I'm not making this stuff up. It's just
blew up a golf course.
Yeah, a resort.
I don't get it.
Here, I'll show you right here. Kim Young blows up tourist golf resort intended to build ties with South Korea. Latest sign, the tyrant is heading for confrontation. He didn't like the fifth hole, apparently. I mean, we all have a hole on every course, or two or three, sometimes four, that we don't like. Then stop playing there.
All right, Matt. Lee asked for Lee Ribbit, RIBT, Rice Brand Technologies. We've got a penny stock. We don't do penny stocks very often.
Yeah, I don't do penny stocks. Good luck.
I'll share because I actually like it. I actually like this chart. Let me share on the weekly, especially penny stocks. You better not be trading on the hourly. Why
are we looking at this?
Slow down, Matt. Matt, there's people far and wide that enjoy our analysis. Far and wide. I like it. It has to maintain this up momentum level at 48 cents. If they can't hold it like they're 2 weeks ago, the past 2 weeks, they couldn't hold it. Nice little bounce here today, but they got to respect that level. And for sure, any close below the average at 40 cents, you better run for the hills. My opinion, my analysis, guaranteed probably. And that also being said, if you don't take profits at the dollar level here, $1.10,
well, yeah,
you're an idiot also. That's what I'm saying.
You're an idiot for even trading it. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. Hey, everybody said I was
whatever,
whatever
floats your
Mexican
boat.
peso pit. And
since Lee likes the junk, and we never really did. We were going to do this a while ago. Remember, we were going to talk about some of these stocks that were just pieces of junk. Never happened to that list.
The junk stocks.
Well, the ones that basically, went public and during the, I can only remember one right now, and it was because that stock made me think of Lee, and might as well, show this one because maybe he'll buy this one. Maybe he's the buyer for Oatly, since he likes the Peter Lynch model, and you got I have some Oatly that's expiring because I can't eat oats now in my thing, right? So it's sitting there. I should just pour it out.
I'm allergic.
Yeah. Anyways, this has really been a strong stock, Lee. You might like this one. It's gone from 29 last June all the way down here to $4. So that might be in Lee's category too. Again, this is not fucking worth your time. This is my point. This thing's still worth $2.6 billion. All right, selling oat milk. There's a lot of froth that still needs to come out of this market, Bob. A lot of it.
Are they selling? What are their sales for that ridiculous valuation?
I'm sure they're selling something, but I don't know. Their market cap's 2.6 billion. They're losing money, hand over fist. I don't know what their sales are. I have no idea. Don't really care.
All right.
Anyways, my point is there's a whole bunch of shit stocks out there. Just because they're cheap doesn't mean they're cheap. They
And
can
not
go.
only, back to
But
the
least-
meme stocks, it doesn't mean that you want to short it at $4
no,
either.
I'm not saying short it.
I get it. Yeah, that's
what I'm
that's
saying.
the nuance. It's like there's better things to trade than those.
Correct. That's it. Trade liquidity. Trade things that are moving. That are again, this trades. There's 2.5 million shares, but again, they trade because they're penny stocks. Once retail is done, and once the pump or whatever is running, the RIT bit, whatever that thing was, it's over. Like, stop. Like, if it doesn't trade for years, millions of shares, avoid it. It's not worth the risk.
All right, Matt. Thank you, Lee. We really
There's
appreciate it.
plenty of good opportunities of liquidity in the market. Don't trade the garbage.
Yeah,
Rule
the
number
Roach
one.
Motel, where you can
Don't
get in.
trade the garbage. Do not
you
trade
can't
the
get
garbage.
out.
That's right.
All right.
So it's just like the place that Gavin Newsom calls, home. You can check in but never leave. California.
All right, Matt. Thank you very much.